Just 1 second.
Oh, that's beautiful, babe. That's very special.
Thank you.
Oh, Nicole Marcella's got a cold. Big hug, Nicole Marcella. Good morning, Diane. Good morning, Beth. And good morning, Joe. Vintage Candles. Hello, Lucy Williams, Sophie Ashcroft, Steph Black, Fiona Reed, Lavinia Doherty, Sky Elise, Nita Riley, Layla Bazihad, Della Nixon, Gillian
Natasha
Bahar,
Tiramos, Clodagh Egan,
Bethan William, Susan Reed, Tasha Payne.
Clodagh Egan, your card is going, there's a little batch going to Ireland later today.
Just put a bit of stuff on my eyebrows.
Nad is heading off soon. I've got
a really exciting job.
Very, very exciting.
I'm going to see if I can vlog
shoot.
when I'm there.
Yeah, that'd
behind
be good.
the scenes.
Might be unlikely there.
Why?
I don't know. Just
As long as you don't say what you're doing.
don't say what you're doing. And I've got a chat with my course leader for my psychotherapy in addiction counselling.
That's so cool.
So I'm
Yeah, Mark's going to be trained to be.
So I'm having a
training.
Zoom meeting with them later today.
To be a proper psychotherapist. Don't you think
Well,
he'd be brilliant?
But really, the principal impetus for that is because I believe for the next however long, we're going to have a huge resurgence of addiction crises and you know, coming out of lockdown and everything else. It was on the up anyway. But I really, really do want to help with sort of drop-in centres and rehab units where there's that group therapy, where you're mobilising team group work, because I do think it's about a shared community and it's about shared work. So I'd be up for that one-on-one. I think I'd be very good at that. But equally, I'm very up for that sort of collective. I like building collective recovery. I mean, I love.
I think you'd be great there working with young men as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You really would.
Absolutely.
You've got a father of sons in you.
Yeah, I have. I've got lots of sons in me somewhere. I think that. Okay. Can I just say, interestingly, awful statistic. I was listening to David Lammy on the radio, and he's an adoptive parent to a child. And apparently, when you get to children that need to be adopted, I know you've talked about it in the past. You know, black children spend on average 3 to 4 years in care, whereas so much longer. Well, yeah, I mean, they spend a disproportionate amount of time not being able to find what they call a family for forever.
God. Forever family.
Yeah, forever family. And again, it's just, you look at all these different categories or areas of society and you find and feel that sort of institutional racism, you know? So, no, it's funny you should say that. I'm not an enormous fan of David Lammy. I find he goes a bit too far and he's a bit too loud sometimes. But it was a really interesting piece, and obviously he's got skin in the game because he's a parent, he's an adoptive parent, and it was just an intriguing conversation about
Sally Jenkins,
how many kids there are looking for forever. I thought that was very. I didn't realise it was actually called a forever family.
I think if I won 160 or 122 million euro millions, that's where my money would go. Children in care.
Yeah.
Sally Jenkins would love a birthday song because it's her second lockdown.
And there's
birthday.
more and more of you as we
Happy
go.
birthday, Sally Jenkins. Happy birthday, Sally Jenkins. Happy birthday, Sally Jenkins. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, happy birthday, Sally. Are we actually in lockdown? Are we still in lockdown? Are we officially in lockdown?
Whether we are officially...
Morning, Karen Marie
Jackson. I suppose
Grania
it
Scarlett.
feels so much easier because we can have friends to the garden, and that to me is everything. But we still can't go to shops, we can't go to restaurants, we can't go to bars, can't travel out of our area. So, yeah.
Ray, I'm so pleased you got your card and Wayne liked his. Yeah, I suppose we are still in lockdown, yeah.
But I think on Monday we won't be because we've got shops and bars and restaurants.
Shops are Morning, Tim Reed. Carly, you know, just bought some resistance bands for my bad leg. What do I do with them, Pete? Oh, God, I don't know. What do you do with a resistance band?
Yeah, not till 10:30 though, yeah?
Erin Bullimore, a lot of the people that lived in the hostel with me were care leavers. If a kid isn't adopted, they usually end up going straight into homeless hostels or council houses. Fantastic. It's, it's just terrible, isn't it? I mean, it's a fantastic number of people that it's just a world we just don't even think about, isn't it?
That's my car saying it was here for 10.
All right, okay.
I said you booked for 10:30, so
no.
I'll have to wait.
Well, that's the point of booking at a certain time, isn't it? It is strange. I often book cars and they say, oh, well, we're here early. And it's like, well, you needed it at this time. Camille, Kiazim, it's because they will only let black children be adopted by black parents. I can see sometimes there will be instances where that's felt to be the most appropriate thing. So I'm sure that is part of the situation. I've been trying to book online swimming and aqua for next week at my local baths. Need to get rid of the lockdown pounds. Well, me and Kiki are desperate to get. Look at Toffs. Where did you get that ball from, Toffs? Where did you find that ball? Me and Keeks are desperate to go to the running. Yeah, see? She won't let you pick it up. Desperate to go to the running track.
Hi, Lucy.
Enjoy your day, Nad, says Julie.
Thanks. I'm going.
You're off.
Everyone's panicking.
All right, darling. Lots of love. Have fun. And don't forget.
Yeah.
Don't know what, just don't forget.
Right.
Have you seen The Mauritanian? I have seen The Mauritanian, Elsa Pop on Amazon. And we're going to be reviewing it. Take care, sweetie.
Thank you.
Lots of love. Sorry, just whilst Nad's just... oh, thank you, Gabrielle. That's very kind of you. Bye, Nad, says everyone. Bye, Nad. Bye. 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 Ooh. Amy Hayes, of course you can have a shout out. You've been watching for 2 years. My lordy lord. I had a friend who tried to adopt. It's the hardest, most intrusive process that she ended up pulling out. Oh, I know. It's not easy, is it? There's I'm trying to think, what was that film that we loved, Instant Family? It is it's a photo shoot. It's a photo shoot. I can get away with anything now, I know. I'm going to take the girls on a wild tour of London for the Easter holidays. If you haven't read any of Irvin Yalom's, oh, sounds good. Heather Rooney, I gave up on the Falcon Winter Soldier. Couldn't get into it like WandaVision. I know, Heather Rooney. I know. I think for some people it's a bit of Marmite. Quick coffee overhaul. That's a good idea. I'm just going to go and get. Shh. Oh. She just banged her head. Did you hear her just bang her head? She just went for the door, but it wasn't. Oh, 1 second. Oh. That's so eerie, I didn't go across the screen. Oh God, there I am, I'm going now. Oh, that'll look nice, love. Yeah, she's going out in a bikini. Yeah, don't mention coffee. Nothing. Bye.
I might have forgotten everything now.
I'll see you later.
Bye, darling.
Have a good
Bye,
one.
yeah. We want to be here.
Take care.
You know what I haven't got? Any lovely glasses.
Love to Lisa. What sort of glasses?
Reading glasses.
Sunglasses.
Reading glasses.
She's going to go all showbiz. You're going to go all
Reading
showbiz.
glasses.
Oh,
Bye,
God. Well,
yeah.
what are you going to do?
Bye.
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 Oh, Nanny Di.
Where's my shoes?
How you doing? Can't stop dancing. Hope you're well, Mum. Everyone's sending you all their love.
Bye.
We're installing a turreted gun point outside our house. She's off to do a photo shoot. In fact, she's off to do, is it a photo shoot? I think it's a photo shoot to do with something that, yeah, we've just been editing something. Been editing it's a thing this morning. Yes, Nanny Di. Nanny Di. I've got my chat with my course leader, Nanny Di, for the course in psychotherapy and counselling for addiction and alcoholism. So there you go, Ma. That's what I'm doing today. Faith Goodman, climate change disaster with all of these millions of disposable masks and plastic rapid COVID tests being thrown away every day. You're absolutely right. The story that we've got up here just at the minute is how willing are we to change our lifestyles for climate change? I was really worried by the detail the other day that our carbon emissions spiked around the planet. Apparently there's a monitoring station in Hawaii, and the carbon footprint that day was high, the highest it had been in a long time. And I wondered whether that was because of our resurgent push back into back into normal life. And are we now going to see? And this has been our concern all along, isn't it? Absolutely, Charlotte Roberts. You've enrolled on a counselling course. I feel like we're going to need more counsellors coming out of this pandemic. We're going to need so many counsellors. Absolutely, we're going to need so many people to deal with the general malaise. And of course, the reason I'm focusing on addiction is not only because of my experience around those, but also the fact that addiction becomes a sort of pivotal point, or a focal point, or a junction, if you like, for a conjunction of lots of other mental health problems. So often we turn to drink and drugs and all sorts of other compulsive addictions to cope with depression, bipolar, and all sorts of mental health issues, anxiety, social anxiety, all that sort of stuff. So yes. Oh yes, you can see the lovely angel wings. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. So yes, Anastasia Alexander, a lot of people are unwilling to change their lifestyles, and this is interesting. It's funny, isn't it? We all ran around saying, oh yeah, that's all so peaceful. But as soon as you say to people that might mean you have to travel around the world less, people go, oh no, I don't know if I want that. And I think that's the problem. And I think we have to seriously rethink our addiction, funny little kind of cross connection there, our addiction to things that destroy the planet. Have you noticed this? Most good things come at a terrible price. Sugar's wonderful, but you eat too much of it, it kills you. Fatty things are so comforting, but you eat too much of them, they kill you. It's like, likewise, traveling around the world is a lovely thing, but do too much of it and it will kill the planet. Gabrielle, the science of climate change needs to be widely reported, as it's not enough unless people see the facts, they won't change their behaviour. I know, and I think often because the facts are presented, when you have a sort of splurge of information that says it's all doom and gloom, I think what happens is people feel overwhelmed by it. People feel like there's no sort of way to sort of change anything. And because everything we do in our lives is microscopic compared to the enormous things that are being done, we don't ever see the bigger picture because we're only thinking about what we do. Sometimes, if I want to really get myself panic-stricken, I think to myself about how much, say, just paper we use as a family. And then you think, oh my God, times that by how many other families are using that amount of paper. And you sort of, then you go into a panic. And then you think, all the rubbish in your bin, and you think, oh, someone somewhere, we're terrible at moderation. We are terrible at moderation. I sometimes think that the only way to get behaviour to change is to have, I don't know, sort of punishments, or, do you know what I mean? Or, I don't know, sort of surcharges and things like that on things. All that kind of stuff. Xavier Tansley, sick and tired of COVID. Hopefully we go back to normal with absolutely no restrictions sometimes this year. I hope so too. And I think, but I do worry. And in fact, this week's Confessions of a Modern Parent is about it from a sort of parental, emotional perspective of our worries and concerns about the summer of love. If you go to Nadia's Instagram, she's asking for people's thoughts on this. What are our worries and fears? What are teenagers' excitements around just being unleashed and re-released? The fear I've got is that we could be re-released back into this new normal, and we could end up doing more damage than good. I mean, we've seen all the images of litter everywhere. There were images of Paris. I mean, I think it was Paris where just the rubbish is just stacking on the streets. I mean, things are just becoming So terrible. Heather Rooney, change can be expensive. I used biodegradable wipes for months and it was expensive. Had to go back to normal ones. This is the problem. They need to incentivize people to, so, you know, for example, electric cars, you know, you can't just say to everyone, get in electric cars and not have enough plug sockets. I mean, I know it's a simple thing, but get plug sockets everywhere. Oh dear, that's really nice. Nicola S. Animals need to be treated with respect too. Danielle Potgeiter. Shop local farmers. Eat paleo, nose to tail. Don't waste too. Totally agree. Huge food wastage. Brenda McGee. Hello, my darling. Nicola S. Hello. Morning, Mark. Amber Grindley. It's my Saffron's 15th birthday today. She would love a huge shout out. Saffron. Super Saffron. Who's your favourite superhero? Happy birthday, Saffron. Happy 15th birthday. Are you enjoying The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or did you prefer WandaVision? Or are you looking forward to Loki? Happy birthday, Saffron. Have a lovely day. Melissa Ansa, hello. So a poll conducted by YouGov, almost 25% of Britons are unwilling to change key habits that would help tackle climate change. 20% said they would be willing to see substantial increases in the price of overseas travel. That suggests 80% wouldn't. 13% said they would accept higher costs for meat. Just 2% supported increasing heating bills. See, one of the big problems we've got with global heating is our central heating units, gas central heating. Apparently, they're one of the worst things. They're one of the worst elements. But the cost of trying to go in a different direction. You watched Run on Netflix, it was okay, but a bit predictable. I didn't want to say anything to that. I thought it was a bit obvious too. I do love Sarah Paulson though. The poll showed that many Britons have a high level of understanding of climate issues, such as renewable energy, but just have a resistance to wanting to change. I mean, that's not surprising when you look at the images of litter everywhere, isn't it? Only 50% of respondents said they supported a ban on the sale of new petrol and diesel cars from 2030. Over a third were opposed to having higher levels of air tax or levies based on how far they fly. I think, so we're very lackadaisical. I think we can talk the talk, but we're not really willing to walk the walk. I'm happy to move over to compost toilets. They're very effective, Sarah Perlmutter. I mean, these are the kind of big, these are the sort of big choices and big decisions we have to make. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't surprise me. I mean, the world wouldn't be getting warmer and warmer and warmer if we weren't slightly resistant to the idea. Oh, look at this. Of actually making those microscopic changes in our daily lives. The roads, Jade Louisa, the roads in Kent are full of litter from the lorry drivers, plastic bottles by the side of the road, full of wee. It's disgusting. Yeah, no one's sorting that out, are they? So that's one big bit of news today. The other news, obviously, there's a couple of big bits of news. I'm just going to let the dogs in. Just 1 second. Hey, doggies, come on in. The big news, I mean, do we have anyone in Brazil? Do we have any Brazilians watching? I mean, I know I have quite a few people from Brazil on my Instagram, bizarrely, but do we have anyone from Brazil? Mark, can you give my daughter London Pink a shout out? Shout out. She's just started new epilepsy medication. She's just been the bravest person. Oh, bless. We have a friend with epilepsy, and we know that's very, you need to be very brave, and it's very uncertain, and it's very worrying. And anyway, there you go. London Pink. Do you think it's because the world is just a huge rubbish bin, Brenda McGee? Yes. Faith Goodman, solar panels make them cheaper for people to have on their homes. New homes should all have solar panels. We would love solar panels, but can't afford them, I agree. I mean, again, it's all about cost, isn't it? Nicola S, UFOs. More UFOs. In Brazil, they hit the grim marker of over 4,000 deaths yesterday. 4,000 deaths in a day. I think their total death count is something in the region. It's over 300,000. And yet still their president is refusing to sort of instigate restrictions or limitations, still advocating, you know, that any kind of lockdown would be more damaging than being susceptible to the virus. It just strikes me as absolutely bizarre. I mean, 4,000. COVID has had more than 4,000 deaths in 24 hours for the first time. The country's death toll is at 337,000, second only to the US. President Jair Bolsonaro continues to oppose any lockdown measures to curb the outbreak. And, you know, and of course the danger with this is that, once again, this is sort of insular thinking. Whatever the president thinks is right for Brazil isn't necessarily right for the world, because of course the more that this spreads, the more potential there is for, you know, variants to emerge. So, you know, once again, when you've got those kind of things going on in countries like Brazil, you do wonder whether all of our India had over 100,000 cases this week. You've got to wonder, you know, about the logic of having any accessibility into the country for any tourist. Sorry about that. Sorry, it was just freezing for a moment there. I've just popped you back onto 4G. So I think, you know, once again, whilst we are improving, we sit within this interconnected global world, and we just have to be mindful. We just have to be mindful of what's going on in other countries and how that will impact on international travel. What was the other story? Oh, and the other story, of course, today is, what do you think, guys, of this Oxford pauses child trial of AstraZeneca again? What do you think of this? Will it never end? Will it never end, the constant toing and froing around AstraZeneca? 30 cases of blood clots with 7 deaths after 18 million doses. I mean, the numbers on that surely are better than the numbers of potential deaths from COVID, no? Russ Souch, I think travel should be on hold for a few years. Did you have side effects from your jab? No, I did. I had, well, weirdly, I was fine for the first 24 hours, and then I had a really achy arm, and then I was really tired one night. That was it. Yeah, the Moderna vaccine lands today to pick up the slack as the AstraZeneca one sort of gets a bit lumpy. It's getting a bit lumpy again, isn't it? Locum A, good morning from Famagusta, North Cyprus. Adore you, Mark and Nadia. Hey. Heather Rooney, money talks when it comes to the vaccine. Not bad for the person. No, absolutely. Not bad, but for the person who died. No, of course, but for the person who died. I mean, this is one of the problems that I think we're encountering in this crisis, is we're becoming death averse, and I think we have to remember that people do die, and I think there's going to come a point where we have to look at the numbers and start to say this is a risk that's now one of many risks within the fabric of our lives, and these are all the precautions that we still take to sort it out. I mean, I think with any vaccine in across the history of time, there's always been some casualty count to some degree. There's always been some risk, and I think, if I'm not wrong, I think almost at the moment, the kind of byproducts or the negative byproducts of these vaccines are sort of markedly less than any others. So anyway, I mean, it's just, once again, this will be, you know, this will be a huge, strong argument for those who are already sort of critical of the AstraZeneca or are a bit kind of agnostic about it, and all those kind of things. So yeah, this is interesting. Doctors have been asked to prescribe exercise. Has anyone ever had acupuncture? Has anyone ever had acupuncture? Maddie has acupuncture for her long COVID symptoms. Has anyone here ever had acupuncture? Because doctors are being told to prescribe exercise and acupuncture instead of painkillers, and I think this is a good thing. I think we've become too much of a pill popping family. Just one second. I think there's a knock at the door. Just one sec. No, just me imagining. Does anyone think we're a bit of a pill-popping country? I did like it on my vein, but I know it works. Acupuncture never worked for me. No, I've never been up for it. Is the acupuncture working for long COVID? It's working for anxiety and sometimes it works for insomnia. It helps, yeah, I mean, it can help. But yeah, doctors have been instructed not to offer painkillers to patients with chronic pain, but to prescribe antidepressants, exercise and acupuncture instead. I don't know about antidepressants. New guidance, health officials advise against the use of painkillers. I mean, for so many people, I mean, you know, we're almost, I mean, NADIA, you would agree, we've almost become a nation or a culture dependent on these sort of slightly anaesthetizing painkillers, aren't we? So yeah, can I ask you guys, what do you think about shoppers possibly, it's not confirmed, but shoppers possibly having to have passports to go into high street shops? Just tell me what you think. Lior, your acupuncturist is opening on the 12th. You don't mind, Heather Rooney? I mean, lots of people are very rubbish. Rachel Dodge, okay. Lucy Loxton, no. Fine by me, agree. Laura S, it's such hassle. Stupid, Fiona Reed. It's off-putting, yeah. Do you think it's gonna unmanageable? I think that's what I'm concerned about, Laura Williams, absolutely. Elsa Pop, you don't mind? I just don't know how they're going to enact it. I mean, are we going to have queues outside shops as people are fumbling for their passports? Or are we going to have sort of QR codes and things like that? All the young people have to be vaccinated. And I'd have thought, yeah, what about youngsters going shopping? I mean, Boris said when he was talking about it with pups that he would wait. But what's the point of waiting? If you need that kind of policy, you need it now, not later. Not when everyone's been vaccinated. Anastasia Alexander, vaccine passports are for international travel. Close the borders and open the country. We've protected our most vulnerable now. Oh, right, okay, that's a radical. Yeah, that's a different opinion. Vaccine passports for international travel. Close the borders and open the country. We have. Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, not open the borders. Right, close the borders. Right, sorry. They should have a scanner or something as you go into shops. I mean, I remember last summer when Eat Out to Help Out was happening. I mean, a couple of restaurants that were open would have this scan. It was very effective. Just had a scanning booking thing. That you just kind of, you just kind of scanned it or pre-booked. Faith, small independent shops will be in trouble because people will stop going there. Very true, yeah. I mean, it's manageable for bigger stores, but how do the smaller stores manage? We've just spent a year shopping in supermarkets, so why now? That's a very good point, Sarah B. Very good point. If we are socially distanced and wearing masks, why do we need them in shops? Fair point, fair point. I suppose it's about touching things. I mean, were we, I don't know. You sort of, are we going to look back on this year? Does anyone think sometimes we're going to look back on this year and think, oh my God, were we not overreacting, but were we, or maybe we're not reacting strongly enough, or maybe as that woman yesterday, the doctor that Nadia was talking about yesterday said, maybe we're sort of sleepwalking into a similar sort of crisis with regards to maybe travel. I think someone on here suggested that we hadn't fully listened to what she was talking about. Maybe with international travel, we're making the same fatal mistakes that we made before. I think Boris is caught between a rock and a hard place. I think he's wanting to suggest to lots and lots of people who just want to get abroad that, international travel is a possibility, that he's doing his damnedest and his bestest. He's doing his bestest to allow international travel to happen, and that will float with the population more, even if it doesn't happen, if he says, well, we wanted it to happen. And sometimes I wonder whether that's some of the mood music that's coming out of government. You know what I mean? He's saying, well, because what was one of the quotes today? Boris wants to remain confident that we can travel, but whether we'll be able to is something else. He can say that. But how else can he sort of keep the population motivated? Ghislaine Maxwell's in the news. Apparently guards are accusing her of not flushing her lavatory. Such a weird headline. Prison staff have accused her of failing to clean her cell, saying it's begun to smell and increasingly dirty. What a really odd story. Really odd story. I mean, you know what we think about Ghislaine, but I couldn't really understand what that was all about. Now, the astute observers in here may well have noticed that we have a story all about ketchup. Ketchup. US restaurants face ketchup packet shortage amid COVID pandemic. We had toilet rolls that were in short supply and pasta and things like that. The US is facing shortages of tomato ketchup after the coronavirus pandemic led to a surge in demand for sachets. Could you live your life without ketchup? Could you live your life without ketchup? Don't like ketchup. I don't like ketchup, Pauline Mulvey. Some people live for it, don't they? What's your favourite condiment? What's your favourite dip? I put ketchup on everything, Skylee, so no. Yeah. Don't like. I mean, I liked it when I was a kid. I loved it when I was a kid. I was in hospital when I was a child with double pneumonia. And I developed such an obsession with it because there was a boy in the hospital with me. And I was like, oh, yeah, now I'm a brown sauce boy, a brown sauce girl, someone just said there. But tomato ketchup. So if tomato ketchup was removed from the world, some of you would find that a real struggle, right? I love brown sauce and everything. There's a strange sort of sweet edge to brown sauce, isn't there? I'm more of a HP, Anita Burke. Aioli, Ishbelality, Sriracha, and Boromans. Yeah, Maddie's going for the old Sriracha a lot because she's trying to spike taste in her mouth. I use it in cooking to especially barbecue sauce, Fiona Reid. Ruins the meal, Brenda McGee. It's a bit like a great big splodge of one flavour that just lands on your dish. Jenny Fay, I hate salad cream. I hate salad cream. I don't mind mayonnaise in things, but I hate salad cream. It's that weird sort of taste. Sky Lisa, I'd make my own ketchup. Well, a lot of restaurants in America have been buying non-Heinz versions. And so Kraft Heinz, apparently prices for ketchup packets have risen by 13% since January. And Kraft Heinz is having to adjust its production processes because demand is greater than supply. Pizza Express salad dressing. I'll tell you what I do like in Pizza Express is their chili oil. That's nice. That's nice. So guys, have a lovely day. Something will be landing on the channel later. Maybe a Meals in Minutes or a Green Fingered Hell or some such thing. Have a very safe day. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoy it. How to Stay Married, a follow-up chat about HRT and me revisiting the lowest points in our marriage around that and how understanding things now with the benefit of hindsight has changed things. Go and check that out. It's available on podcast or on the YouTube channel. Stay safe, San Diego, and have a lovely, lovely day. Julie Fleming, Mark, please could you wish a happy 54th birthday to my wonderful partner, Steve. Happy birthday, Steve. Julie Fleming, Steve, happy 54th. I hope, well, this is pretty much almost your second birthday in lockdown, and I hope it's as nice a one as you can have, okay? Happy birthday, Steve, and have a lovely day, guys. Hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed our natter. Sorry it's been a bit chaotic and a bit up and down, but there we go. That's real life. Bye.